Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Boakai if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your later like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
That's 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Today is Thursday, June 5, 2025. My name is Johnson Gbarntolmah presenting. In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai describes the inauguration of ArcelorMittal's $1.4 billion old plant concentration as a concentrator as pivotal to the development of the country. Stresses the need for the training of young Liberians to operate in the facility. Ministry of Transport discloses the introduction of 5 commercial aircraft for domestic purpose, says it is partnering with Makeup, a renowned Korean company. President Joseph Boakai issues Executive Order number 150 suspending import tariff on rice. Liberia's stable. And away from Liberia, Zambia former President Kaluma dies at age 68, his party has said. These plus many more, the reading of the news bulletin, sports are all packaged on today's edition of the program News Desk. We'll take a break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
Thanks for rejoining us. Many thanks for rejoining us. We are powered by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. At this point, we join Naketa Roberts, who will read for us the news bulletin on News Desk. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. Good evening, everyone. In an effort to ease the economic burden on Liberians and stabilize the price of rice, President Joseph Boakai Sr. has signed Executive Order number 150, extending the suspension of import tariffs on rice, recognizing the mounting pressures of the high cost of living and the critical importance of rice as Liberia's staple food. President Boakai's latest executive order continues the provisions of Executive Order 125, removing import tariffs on key rice categories to ensure affordability and accessibility for every Liberian. The measure takes effect effectively and is part of the government's broader strategy to promote food security, market stability, and economic relief for our citizens. The government remains committed to taking practical steps that alleviate the financial stress on ordinary Liberians, the release quotes. President Joseph Boakai reaffirms his administration's resolve to protect the purchasing power of Liberia household and maintain national food stability amid rising global economic pressures. The Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with Myean Group, a renowned Korean company, is expected to introduce 5 commercial aircraft dedicated to domestic travels. According to the ministry, the strategic investment aims to transform Liberia's aviation sector, offering reliable and efficient air travel services across various counties. During a high-profile meeting held at the Ministry of Transport, the CEO of Myean Group expressed his company's commitment to Liberia's transport development. The institution also disclosed that 2 of the aircraft will be designated for executive charter purposes, while the remaining will serve domestic routes, providing much needed connectivity across Liberia. Myean Group has also pledged to collaborate with the Liberian government to upgrade the Roberts International Airport to international standards, aligning with the benchmark set by the International Civil Aviation Organization. For its part, the Minister for Transport, Salif Tyler, on behalf of the Liberian government, commended Myean Group for its keen interest in the nation's transport sector. A 28-year-old man has been forwarded to the Monrovia Central Prison for allegedly raping a 5-year-old girl. The mother of the victim, according to RCI judicial correspondent, told police investigators that her daughter was sexually abused in a Wookham community in Painesville. Madam Joanna Mali told police that on Sunday, June 1st, 2025, while preparing for service, she did not see her daughter, stating that while waiting, one Abraham Davis brought her daughter and told her that the defendant, took her daughter in an unfinished building and committed the alleged act. But the defendant, Mamadou Diallo, told the investigators that he went into the unfinished building to defecate when he encountered the victim. Our judicial correspondent said the police investigation established that there was no sign of defecation in the unfinished building. Former Speaker, Councillor Fanati Kafar, Representative Priscilla Cooper, Dixon Sibu, Marvin Cole, Jacob Debbie, Frank Tafoko, and Abu Kamara have been summoned to a meeting at the Liberia National Police Headquarters on Friday, June 6, 2025, as part of the investigation into the arson attack on the Capitol building. These lawmakers are considered persons of interest. The summons were communicated by Police Inspector General Gregory Cormant and read by Chief Clerk Madron Sion during Thursday's section. The lawmakers have since been appearing and providing information to assist the LMP investigation. The managing director of the National Port Authority, Sekou Dukle, has been subjected to criminal investigation for allegedly duping a Chinese national, Young Then, for over $3 million United States dollars after they both reached an agreement to establish a bottled mineral water plant in Liberia. This follows a complaint by Johnson Momo, an associate legal chamber, to the police Inspector General Gregory Cormant to investigate the managing director of the National Port Authority, Sekou Dukle, in connection to the matter. Councillor Johnny Momo, who is representing the legal interests of the Chinese national, is accusing Director Dukle of allegedly duping his clients of over $3 million United States dollars from a joint investment. Councillor Momo made 2025 communication to the police chief, according to RCR judicial correspondent, claimed that funds were given to the MPA boss on separate occasions for the purpose of constructing a bottled mineral water plant and the purchasing of equipment in Liberia. This part given the funds, Councillor Momo alleged that the MPA boss had failed to account for the funds, but instead brought his Chinese business partners in the country and later convinced them to institute a legal proceedings against Young Then. Liberia's ambassador to Qatar, Mohammed Kane, has held talks with the Qatar news agency seeking technical support for the Liberia news agency. The discussions, according to a dispatch, took place this week when Ambassador Kane was received in the audience by the Director General of the Qatar news agency, Ahmed Ramihe. That's his office in Doha. The Liberian ambassador is quoted as saying the government of Liberia, who highly appreciates the technical assistance from the Qatar government, told the Liberian news agency through the Qatar news agency in revamping the agency with modern media technology. In response, the Director General of the Qatar news agency expressed his willingness to work with the Liberian embassy in Doha in getting this actualized through the bilateral relationship existing between the two nations. The Margibi County Detachment of the Liberia National Police has received 2 motorbikes from the county's administration. Making the presentation of the motorbikes, Margibi County Superintendent Victoria Duncan said the gesture was in appreciation of the joint security efforts in fighting crimes in the county. According to Madam Duncan, funding for the motorbikes was made possible through the County Development Fund. She praised the LMP Margibi detachment for the job well done in bringing relief to residents of the county. Receiving the keys to the motorbikes, Margibi County Police Commander Pak Trey Kumarzu thanked the county administration for the recognition. The Rubber Planters Development Fund Incorporated RDFI has expressed serious concerns over the action of farmers in Liberia disengaging from buying from local rubber farmers in the country. RDFI, through its chairman of the board of directors, Torgbean Maba, says as a major regulator to the rubber sector, they collaborated with national government in setting up the Liberia National Rubber Pricing Committee aims at enabling farmers to receive fair price on their produce. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday in Congo Town, Torgbean Maba frowned at Firestone for what he called disengaging from buying rubbers from local farmers in the country without providing concrete reasons to the leadership. A pro-democracy institution, NEMO Partner for Democratic Development, has disclosed that all is set for the hosting of the 12th cohort of the Young Political Leadership School of Africa. Cohort 12 of the Young Political Leadership School of Africa, according to NEMO release, is under the theme Unlocking Africa's Potential Youth Leadership for Economic Development and Political Stability. The release further that the 5-day program, which aligns with the African Union's Agenda 2063 vision, fostering innovation, leadership, and collaboration developments, will convene 120 emerging leaders, with 45% females participating from across the African continent at a local hotel in Monrovia from the 9th to the 13th of June 2025. Over the course of the week, according to the release, participants including young politicians, entrepreneurs, journalists, civic activists, and civil society leaders will engage in 17 sections facilitated by 13 national and international experts, focusing on key themes such as leadership, election, and governance. The National Food Assistance Agency has begun two-day deliberation aimed at validating a 5-year strategic plan on addressing food insecurity, the needed, and strengthening the mandate of the National Food Assistance Agency. Speaking in a news conference on Thursday, the National Food Agency Director General Boubacar Salif said this discussion is intended to brainstorm on ways through which local and international partners and well-meaning individuals can contribute to food insecurity among the needy, the disabled, and orphans. According to Salif, the deliberation is also intended to solicit the views and opinions of stakeholders on mechanisms to address food insecurity. The Severe Law Court has granted former DA boss Abraham Clement's motion to dismiss the Fadiga brothers' appeal. Hassan Fadiga and Hassan Fadiga have since been adjourned liable to an action of damages for wrong in a tune of 1.5 million United States dollars in connection to their ex-boss lawsuit against them. Judge Smith Thursday, according to RCR judicial correspondent, granted Clement's request by reaffirming his May 6, 2025 liable verdicts against the Fadiga brothers. The judge's decision was as a result of a motion to dismiss the appeal filed by the former DA boss after the Fadiga brothers failed to preferred their appeal consistent with Chapter 24, Section 24, 1 and 2 of the Criminal Procedural Law of Liberia. Several beneficiaries of the recovery of economic activity for Liberia informal sector employment release projects have expressed joy over how the project is meaningfully impacting their lives. The residents of Nizo community in Jacobtown said life was becoming unbearable for they and their family until the release projects recruited, trained, and provided resources to them to better their lives. Speaking at the close of the program, the women joyfully disclosed that they are now breadwinners for their families as a result of the opportunity provided them doing related projects in the community. For his part, the senior program officer for Relays Projects, Jerry Godu, said the project was funded by the World Bank and supporting partners, and it's been implemented by several government ministries and agencies. The Movement for Economic Empowerment has described Liberia's victory for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council as a historic moment in the nation's diplomatic pathway. According to the party, this milestone achievement is the result of years of strategic engagement, visionary leadership, and commitment to consolidate Liberia's global presence by the past and current governments. Move in a release recognized the contribution of former President George Weah and his administration for laying the foundation for Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat on the non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council through its foreign policy objectives. The party added that the seat was won through the prioritization of multilateralism, international cooperation, economic development, diplomacy, and national and global peace and security. Move also extends special recognition to its political leader and standard bearer, Ambassador Mazwe Kemeyam. The release also appreciated President Joseph Boakai and his administration for embracing and pursuing this vision and advancing it with determination. Out of Liberia now, Zambia's former president Iga Lungu has died at the age of 68. Its party has said in a statement he had been receiving specialized treatment in South Africa for an undisclosed illness, the Patriotic Front added. Lungu led Zambia for 6 years from 2015, losing the 2021 election to the current president Hakainde Hichilema by a large margin. Still out of Liberia, African countries with travel bans and restriction. Africa is the continent worst affected by the travel bans announced by U.S. President Donald Trump, with 7 of the 12 countries on the list, which comes into effect on Monday. The order prohibits people from Chad, Congo, Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan, as well as Afghanistan, Myanmar, Haiti, Iran, and Yemen from entering the U.S. In addition, there will be travel restrictions on people from Burundi, Sierra Leone, Togo, Cuba, Laos, among others. That's RCN News Bulletin is back to Johnson Gbarntolmah for the continuation of News Decks.
Ria TV, True FM.
In Ria TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black barrel is to tell Joseph Boakai, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll take your better Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Your news desk thanks to Naketa Roberts for bringing us the news bulletin. If you are just joining us, this news desk 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In one of our top developments, President Joseph Boakai issues Executive Order number 150 suspending import tariff on rice, Liberia's staple food. That brings you our first development on the program. The National Food Assistance Agency has begun a 2-day deliberation aimed at validating a 5-year strategic plan on addressing food insecurity for the needy and strengthening the mandate of the institution. Speaking in an interview with journalists, The institution Director General Barkasali said the discussion is intended to brainstorm on ways through which local and international partners and while many individuals can contribute to food insecurity among the needy, disabled, and orphans.
NFA is not prepared to do. And now with the three persons that the president has appointed, we look around and see a lot of vulnerable people. We see the hunger is taking on people. People prepare. We're not saying that we can eradicate it, but let's have a plan that we all can look forward. And then as time goes on, the people will be monitored and we'll have something working. That's why the need for this. First, we want people to know that NFA exists. A lot of people have not heard it. And it's not their fault. Because like the institutes are there around 70s. So it's not a fault that we have to hear. So first thing for us is the awareness. And the president mandated us to reawaken, rebrand, and reposition NFA. So that is what we're doing this. What we have plans, we already have started. Last year, when we were new to the positions, we started to reach out. We've made several donations. I always tell people, go and visit the website and the Facebook page. Our website is nfaa.gov.li. Our Facebook page is National Food Assistance Agency.
So once you visit and you see things, ask a question. It's interactive. You can place a question and we'll get back to you later.
Baka Salif is the Director General of the National Food Assistance Agency, also speaking during the program, and FAA Program Officer and Iflomo disclosed that a 5 years strategic plan is aimed to developing a roadmap to measure the performance of the entity.
To function effectively and efficiently and be able to capture its performance, we have to have a plan to work with. Working with plan means we stand to achieve more because the plan is the roadmap, the plan is the guide to direct our path, to direct our functions, to direct our implementation. So to do this, we cannot do it in isolation. We have to do it in collaboration, especially for those who have senior mandates, ensuring that Liberia is free of food insecurity. Food being one of the importance or the most important of human existence, we all have to achieve this goal together. So for NFAA to have this plan, we've come to plan together 5 year strategy. And this strategic plan is something where with all of our input, all institutions, all of the agencies here today, making input into this document, it's all here for supporting the NFAA to achieve in the goal content which has to do with the SDG.
She is the program officer of the National Food Assistance Agency and Iflomo on her the boss of the Director General of the entity, his Baka Salif. He spoke at the start of a 2-day deliberation aimed at validating a 5-year strategic plan to addressing food insecurity in Liberia. The Rural Development Fund Incorporated has expressed serious concern over the action of Firestone Liberia disengaging from buying from local rubber farmers in the country. RDFR, through its chairman of the board of directors, Torgbean Naketa, says, as a regulator of the rubber sector, they collaborated with the national government in setting up the Liberia National Rubber Processing Committee, aims to enable farmers to receive fair price on their produce. Speaking at a press conference Thursday in Congo Town, Torgbean Naketa frowned at Firestone Liberia for what he called disengaging from buying rubber from local farmers in the country without providing concrete reasons to the leadership.
transportation, calculated everything, at 3%. So we are not as a population. So we acting all processes. This is my favorite. And to be able to help this fight because in Nigerians, Arabians, and Arabians, we as a race in West Africa, we are all the of this
He is the chairman of the board of directors of the Rubber Development Fund Incorporated, Torgbean. Myean Torgbean has also disclosed the allocation of over $300,000 for the training and provision of some equipment to rubber farmers in Liberia. Also speaking, the Vice President of the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, Barnes Brown, also read a resolution that was signed on May 21, 2025 by the Liberian National Rubber Pressing Committee. According to Brown, the committee members include the Ministries of Agriculture, Commerce, Finance, Justice, and the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia.
Receiving unfair market price and unfair price
or actual as the propensity to cause change in the rubber sector until start. Realizing the need for an independent
to come up with mechanisms for prices of rubber we take into consideration and these all the farmers, sellers, and the processors. The question of this excellent situation. In the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Justice, the Department of Association of the National Investigation, and the process of with the benefits return and post the organization within the public of Liberia. Realize the benefits the Liberian National University we have a work in December 2024, bringing together these series of years which culminated in the communication of May 2025, in which the scenario of the knowledge process was from several education, not a technical now here. RC resolved at the moment of the one who did right from the average daily prices of one of the two for $1 for the preceding month posted on the commodity exchange because apply a 50% dry market increase to get the output which the production cost is.
Barney Brown is the Vice President of the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia. They're reading a resolution that was recently signed by the committee set up by President Joseph Boakai. The Myean County Detachment of the Liberian National Police has received 2 motorbags from the county's administration. Making the presentation of the bags, Myean County Superintendent Madam Victoria Duncan said the gesture was in appreciation of the joint security efforts in fighting crimes in the county.
We have gathered together, come up with a decision because seeing the power of the police commander in the county to try to justify its effort. We know that right now we are playing national security, and now we're saying why we are doing it. So we have decided that we cannot do it. We are very effective. So we can force the security for the use of activities, and security authorities in the country, especially the police office, the commander of the national police. So here on behalf of the people administration of my community, we have those. We know social media, so we appreciate everything you do in and just for the with all these acts to enforce the so please receive those more from us and stay for all the country, the country administration of the same.
She is the superintendent of Myean County, Madam Victoria Duncan, speaking, receiving the keys on behalf of the Myean County Police Detachment was the Commander, Patrick Komanzu. Patrick Komanzu is the commander of the LMP Myean County Detachment. They're receiving keys for the bag donated by the county administration. Earlier on, heard the voice of Madam Victoria Duncan. She's the superintendent of Myean County. If you're just joining us, please be informed that this is News Desk, 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. We transmit from Dupont Road, Painesville, outside the nation's capital, Monrovia. Now, top developments. President Joseph Boakai describes the inauguration of ArcelorMittal 1.4 billion old plant concentrator as a pivotal movement of development for the country, stresses the need for the training of young Liberians to operate in the facility. Minister of Transport discloses the introduction of 5 commercial aircraft for domestic travels, says in a partnering with the makeup a renowned Korean company. President Joseph Boakai issues Executive Order Number 150 suspending import tariff on Liberia's stable rice. In a way for Liberia, Zambia's former president Edgar Lungu dies at the age of 68. His party has said. We'll take a break to be right back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
True FM, 96.1.
What's the meaning of the flag bearer?
The flag bearer is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll keep your later.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hans. Several beneficiaries of recovery of economic activity for Liberia informal sector empowerment release for short project have expressed joy over how the project is meaningfully impacting their lives. The residents of Nizo community Jacobstown said their life was becoming unbearable for the families until the project recruitment in the area. They spoke to reporters who visited the area.
Project with me to sell food that my food were able to show that the 200 I received is not already they make me to start the project. Yes, I believe that we have to walk.
They are some beneficiaries of the recovery for economic activity for Liberia informal sector employment realized for short. For his part, the senior program officer of realized project, that's Jerry Gudu, said the project was funded by the World Bank and supported partners and implemented by several government agencies and ministries.
The realized project was funded by the World Bank, SINA, and the French government, and implemented by UNESCO, Ministry of Gender, and the American Agency for Malaria Empowerment. This project is to target 17,000 beneficiaries. The age limit for this component is from 35 to below. Project we target youth, but all of the realized projects is little more than projects we open education from 35 for students, young people, as well as older people in the project. Our project is located in the 970 communities by the end of 2026. We will implement this project in Australia and Myean communities. Those are some of the beneficiaries. We have 5 rounds we are supposed to implement. We've already implemented 3, and this is the 3rd round that we are closing up. And we are already going into round 4. So one round we have 25 communities, 2,500 visitors, reporters. So as you know, in this community, we have program feature with 7,000 in each community. And all this around because the recruitment of people that feel behind in one of the so we have a direct extra number to work with that 116 users. So overall, we get a total and we have 3,304 users with more users. Overall, we are looking at the right now. The total is 10 marketing in total with the activity. So we have 5,000 users that we supported on this round. We also have 100 analysis groups in the round. The round is looking at additional 50 communities and completed with 54 million.
He's Jerry Godo. He's the program officer of the Recovery of Economic Activity for Liberia Informal Sector Employment, realized for short, and earlier on heard the voices of beneficiaries of the project. Now taking us home on today's edition of the program news desk, but as we take leave of you, a recap of our major developments. President Joseph Boakai described the inauguration of ArcelorMittal's $1.4 billion oil plant concentrator as pivotal to the development of the country, stresses the need for the training of young Liberians to operate in the facility. The Ministry of Transport discloses the introduction of 5 commercial aircraft for domestic travel, says it is partnering with Makeup, a renowned Korean company. President Joseph Boakai issues Executive Order number 150 suspending import tariff on Liberia's staple food, rice, and away from Liberia. Zambia's former president Edgar Lungu dies at age 68. His party has said, "We'd love to say many thanks to our writers, contributors, correspondents for making today's edition of the program resources. Special thanks to affiliate radio station for relaying this broadcast. Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited are our sponsors. Thanks to Naketa Roberts, who was here with the reading of the news bulletin. Cooper Sanga, Sarah controlled and produced our sounds. Torgbean, as usual, was behind the camera. On behalf of the production crew, I have been the presenter, Johnson Gbarntolmah. Good night.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black barrel is to tell Joseph Boakai, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll take your better Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary of 12. My name is Hansen der Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.